Hello there, listeners, and welcome back to the Crystal Cove Podcast. Now, I am very happy to be back on. If you're wondering why I wasn't broadcasting for a while, it was because where I live, we had a few weeks off for snow. So that was a lot of fun. Built snowman, slid down a hill on a kneeboard. It was the most fun I've had in a while. But anyway, I guess this episode I just want to talk about what's been going on in the world. I know I'm not. This podcast isn't really about news. It's about. I know that at first I want it to be a horror podcast, and it is a horror podcast, but I want it to be more than that. I want it to be a place where people can comment and talk about things that matter to them. I mean, I'm not a big fan of politics in any way, but if you want to talk about that, I'm fine with it. Leave a comment in the description of this podcast, and that's fine. And always remember to like and subscribe, please. It'll help me out a lot. But still, we can talk about music, movies, anything like that. I would love to do that. Anyway, today I want to talk a little bit about horror movies, yes, but I want to talk about the supernatural presence, or like the characterization of supernatural and otherworldly beings in films. Now, when I think of that, I think, well, ghosts. Straight away. So you could think Lady in White. If you ever seen Lady in White, that's a great movie. You should see it. I'm not exactly sure what year it is, but I'll figure it out and I'll put it in the description of this video. Podcast. You know what I mean. Anyway, ghosts can be seen as evil beings, but they can be seen as helpful beings. Kind. Misrepresented, I guess. Look at Casper. Everybody was afraid of him, but then, you realize it's not him, it's the other bad guys. It's the other evil ghosts. I think it was 2 or 3 bad guys. They sucked. But, anyway, really, that's a good movie. Like, if you guys ever seen Casper the Friendly Ghost, it's really good. It's got a Ghostbuster reference in it. Dan Aykroyd, who plays Ray Stantz in Ghostbusters, comes out of the house and he said with his full Ghostbusters gear on, and he says, "Who you gonna call? Someone else." And he just runs off. It's the funniest thing. And if you can find that clip on YouTube, I'd highly suggest it. Because every once in a while I look that up and it makes me laugh. If I need a cool, good laugh, just look that up and it'll get me. But yeah, when you think of otherworldly, supernatural things and horror and just normal movies in general, there's a lot of things you can think about, You can think aliens if you really, truly think about it. You can think of Signs. You can think of War of the Worlds. There's plenty of classic movies that had that. E.T. E.T.'s great. But yeah, there's plenty. You can even think demons. Demons, zombies, any kind of monster in general is, supernatural things, really. Otherworldly things. You can think of I Am Legend, the mutants. That's a really good movie. Will Smith is in that movie, and he really shows his acting in that movie. I might do a little spoiler for that movie. So if anyone who hasn't seen that movie or cares about spoilers, then you probably should, wait till probably 609. That's where I'm gonna stop talking about it. But in the movie, Will Smith is a scientist who's working on a cure for cancer. He's kind of in that realm, and when they're making it, the problem that they do is they try to change DNA. So, like, instead of getting away the cancer, they kind of change the DNA. So technically, they never had it. But the problem with that is changing the DNA kind of messes people up. So it causes this virus, and it turns people into mutants. And he is immune to it, and he's the only person left, really. But then you discover that he's not the last person left and that kind of thing. But that's pretty much all I have to say about that movie. But it is really good. I highly suggest it. But still, I mean, the representation of otherworldly things are done fairly good. You know, when you think zombies, a lot of people think classics like Night of the Living Dead. You know, Night of the Living Dead, Night of the Living Dead 2. You think of Frankenstein too. Frankenstein is technically a representation, so Frankenstein's monster, Frankenstein's bride, The Munsters. Ooh, have you ever seen The Munsters? That show is the funniest. Oh, man, that's a good show. Anyway, yeah, I mean, ghosts have a very long history in films. You know, like, of course, goes in the realm of demons when you think of The Exorcist. You ever seen The Crow? The Crow, technically it's a mortal thing. I'm not exactly sure the true thing about that. It's just about a guy who comes back to life and seeks revenge, that sort of thing. Which is actually, it's a really good film. Sad thing is, the main actor of that movie, he died after it was filmed. So a lot of people believe that movie and The Exorcist is cursed because both of them had a few people die during filming or like after filming, which sucks. That sucks for that to happen. Well, not sucks. I don't know if that's the polite word. It's terrible. That's the right word. Not sucks. It's terrible. But it really is. Yeah, ghosts, zombies, werewolves. Dude, I feel like they're unrepresented. You know? I mean, ever seen, what is it? It's, what is it? It's a movie I'm trying to think of. It's got Hugh Jackman in it. Can't think of it. I'll put it back in the description. But he's like a famous monster hunter, and he teams up with Frankenstein, and he fights a lot of vampires and Dracula, and it's really, really good. I have to think about it. But anyway, it is really good. Yeah, it's got I think it's got the Natalie Portman in it. I think she's in it. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, if you don't know her, she was in Star Wars. She was in Thor the Dark World. She was in quite a few movies. She's in quite a few movies. She's a really good actress. Anyway, Winchester is a really good movie representing ghosts. If you haven't seen Winchester, what I'm about to say, it isn't really a spoiler because it's in the trailer, so I'm just going to say it. It's like, the myth is like the wife of the wife of the wife of the creator of Winchester. You know, she thought that the spirits of the people who killed by Winchester rifles would kill her if she didn't keep construction going on her house. So it's one of the biggest houses ever built. I mean, of course, not the biggest building ever built, but it's one of the biggest houses built for technically one person. Truly, there's a movie based on it. It's really, really good. And in the movie, of course, the ghosts are real, but still, it is a very good film. And there's good movies when it comes to like the whole science fiction humans figuring out things that they shouldn't, and like it turns against them. A good idea for that is Overlord. If you haven't seen Overlord, it's really good. Man, I'm doing a lot of spoilers technically. If you haven't seen any of these films, I'm doing a lot of spoilers. So this one's for Overlord. In the movie, it's about the raid. Not the raid, but the attack on Paris during World War II, I think. Pretty sure. And they go down there because the Germans, the Nazis, my bad, the Nazis have kind of overtook this place, and they've kind of made it very, very bad. They have this research facility, but they don't know that once they get there. You just think it's a bunch of bad guys and you get rid of them, and so people can live there again. But as a research facility where the Nazis are trying to make soldiers that can't die. And they're getting pretty successful with it. And it's a really, really good film. I'm not going to tell you more about it. But I just want to tell you about that. I have a lot of suggestions about movies I'm going to have to review and put the descriptions down low with the years. It's really good, and I'll put them all down below. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. And of course, like and subscribe, leave comments about anything you'd like me to talk about, or if you have anything you want to talk about, just tell me, and then I'll say your name and what you want me to talk about, and then I'll probably spend the whole episode talking about it. So anyway, have a great night, and of course, thank you for listening to the Crystal Cove Podcast.